My boyfriend, let's call him Leo, and I were what you'd call college sweethearts. We met in our freshman year, both bright-eyed and full of dreams. I was studying graphic design, and he was on a pre-med track. He was charming, ambitious, and seemed to have his whole life mapped out. We fell hard and fast. By our junior year, we were living together, sharing everything from late-night study sessions to instant ramen dinners. I had a special savings account, something I called my future fund. It wasn't just for tuition. It was for a post-graduation trip to Japan I'd been dreaming of since I was a kid. I'd worked part-time jobs, did freelance design gigs, and squirreled away every extra dollar. That account was my pride and joy, representing years of hard work. It had about $8,000 in it. Leo knew all about it. He even helped me set up a vision board with pictures of Kyoto temples and Tokyo skylines. He was my biggest cheerleader, or so I thought. The trouble started subtly. A few months ago, Leo started acting strange. He was more stressed than usual, constantly on his phone, and secretive about his finances. He said it was just the pressure of his upcoming MCAT exams and the cost of applications. I believed him. I offered to help, to cover more of the rent, to cook more meals so he could study. I did everything I could to be a supportive partner. One afternoon, I tried to log into my banking app to deposit a check from a freelance project. The login failed. I tried again. Denied. A cold feeling washed over me. I called the bank, and after a series of security questions, the representative delivered the news that made my world tilt on its axis. The account had been closed. The entire balance, all $8,000, had been transferred out a week earlier. My first thought was that it was a mistake, some kind of bank error or a hack. But then the representative confirmed the transfer details. The money had been moved to another account at the same bank, an account I didn't recognize. Panic set in. I was shaking, trying to piece it together. Who could have done this? How? The bank needed me to come in person to file a fraud claim. When Leo got home that evening, I was a wreck. I told him what happened, tears streaming down my face. I watched his reaction closely. He feigned shock, wrapping his arms around me, saying all the right things. He said we'd figure it out, that he'd help me. But there was something off in his eyes, a flicker of something I couldn't place. It looked like guilt. That night, I couldn't sleep. His words of comfort felt hollow. My mind was racing, replaying the last few weeks. His stress, his secrecy, his constant need for money. A horrifying thought began to form in my mind. No, it couldn't be. Not Leo. Not the man I loved and trusted with my whole heart. Driven by a gut feeling I couldn't ignore, I did something I never thought I'd do. I waited until he was fast asleep, and I went through his laptop. I felt sick doing it, like I was betraying him. But I had to know. I found his banking history. And there it was. A transfer into his account, a week ago, for exactly $8,000. The source, my savings account. The air left my lungs. It was him. My boyfriend, the man I was planning a future with, had stolen my dream. The world went silent except for the frantic beating of my own heart. I felt a wave of emotions crash over me, disbelief, betrayal, heartbreak, and then a cold, hard anger. I didn't confront him right away. The shock was too great. I moved like a ghost for the next 2 days, pretending everything was normal while a storm raged inside me. He had not only stolen my money but also shattered my trust and every happy memory we had built. He thought he was smart. He thought he had gotten away with it. He had no idea who he was dealing with. While he was out at a study group, I started my investigation. What did he do with the money? It didn't take long to find out. His browser history was a treasure trove. It wasn't for MCAT applications or tuition. He'd spent it all on high-stakes online poker. Page after page of gambling sites. He had a severe addiction, and he'd used my life savings to fund it, and lost it all. The anger I felt was pure ice. He had stolen my future to gamble it away. My dream of Japan, gone. My trust, obliterated. I could have gone to the police. I could have sued him, but that felt too simple, too clean. He had destroyed my dream. I was going to destroy his. Leo's entire life revolved around getting into medical school. His family had immense pressure on him, and his academic record was his golden ticket. He had just finished his final exams and was in the middle of applying to the top medical programs in the country. His personal statement, the cornerstone of his application, was something he'd spent months perfecting. He was so proud of it, and he'd saved the final version on our shared cloud drive. My plan began to take shape. It was diabolical, and a part of me felt a flicker of hesitation, but the image of my empty bank account quickly snuffed it out. He had shown me no mercy, and I would show him none. I opened the shared drive and found the file. Leo Personal Statement Final, docx. I read it. It was well written, full of stories about his passion for helping people, his volunteer work, his desire to make a difference. It was all a lie, so I rewrote it. I kept the structure, the flow, and even some of his sentences, but I changed the core of it. I subtly, masterfully, twisted his words. I added paragraphs that made him sound arrogant, entitled, and alarmingly unstable. I inserted phrases that questioned the ethics of modern medicine. I even added a bizarre, rambling section about how he believed his superior intellect gave him the right to make life-or-death decisions that others couldn't. I used a thesaurus to replace key words with slightly off, more sinister synonyms. It was a masterpiece of passive-aggressive sabotage. It was still his voice, but it was the voice of a sociopath. The best part? It was so cleverly done that a quick skim wouldn't reveal the changes. You had to read it carefully to see the red flags. And I knew that exhausted, overconfident Leo, who had already read it 100 times, wouldn't bother with more than a quick glance before hitting submit. The next day, I accidentally deleted the original file from his laptop, leaving only my altered version on the cloud. I watched him that evening, sitting at his desk, uploading his applications. He opened the file, skimmed the first paragraph, and smiled, completely oblivious. He attached the document, filled out the rest of the forms, and one by one he submitted his applications to his dream schools. With every click of his mouse, he was sealing his own fate. I had to bite my lip to keep from smiling. A few days later, I packed my things while he was in class. I took everything that was mine. I left my key on the counter, next to a printed-out copy of his bank statement showing the transfer from my account, and a screenshot of his online poker losses. I didn't leave a note. The evidence spoke for itself. I blocked his number, blocked him on all social media, and walked out of that apartment without looking back. The weeks that followed were hard. I was starting over, heartbroken and broke. I moved in with a friend and picked up extra shifts at work, but every time I felt down, I imagined the admissions committees at those top-tier medical schools reading his personal statement. I pictured their confused and horrified expressions. That thought gave me a dark sort of satisfaction that kept me going. About 2 months later, I got an email from a mutual friend. It was a screenshot of a frantic post from Leo in a group chat. It read, "Has anyone heard back from med schools yet? I got another rejection today. I don't understand. My stats are perfect. It makes no sense. He had received rejection letters from every single school, not waitlists, hard rejections. His dream, the one he'd sacrificed my own for, had been utterly and completely obliterated. He had no idea why. He would spend the rest of his life wondering what went wrong, never knowing that the answer was in a document he never bothered to reread. Some might say what I did was cruel, that I should have taken the high road. But he stole from me. He lied to me. He gambled away the physical manifestation of my hard work and dreams. I didn't get my money back, and I still haven't been to Japan, but I got something else. I got justice. He played a stupid game, and I made sure he won a stupid prize. He wanted to be a doctor, but he failed the most basic test of character, and I was just the one who graded his exam. Thanks for listening to my story. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.